Hi, this is Paul Roberts, Conscious Counseling 101. I provide counseling services for no charge, as long as the person is willing to accept on these terms that I produce a generic video that can also help others. What I want to do with my life is just simply to have an avenue to where I can do that. You'd be surprised at how hard that is to do. Even when you don't charge, people are always suspect. There must be something up, or you want something out of it, or something like that. This is very difficult. But that's why I do it this way. So I'm gonna, just let you know at the beginning of the video what this is. Okay, so I have a person that wants some advice on a relationship. I have a lot to say about a relationship because I've been married for 28 years and I've spent over half my life with the same person. Now I have all kinds of issues and problems with that person in our working of our relationship together, but that's not a negative thing if I'm aware of why they're there and how those things can help us to become better, stronger people, and how I can help others because of that. So I would be glad to get into those things and elaborate, and maybe I will for examples if they're appropriate. This particular one, a lot of them that I have here are not appropriate for your case, but as a general overall sense of an individual with a heightened conscious that has spent a lot of time as an analytical artist trying to ascertain and determine all the subtleties of everything in life, like an artist would about a painting or a sculpture. I've come to a point in my life where I'm capable, with my life experience and my time, to render useful advice and ideas and concepts with people that they might not get from just their friends that they hang out with or whatever. In fact, sometimes when you hang out with friends and things like that, they actually can become enablers and actually can bog you down. Not necessarily with peer pressure, all that is something, but just in the fact that you keep getting the same input all the time and you come to accept it as treasured norm. This is what your surroundings are. It's very difficult to, without becoming codependent, to survive in any scenario just on yourself, on your own merits, and use your heightened intelligence, which means you can gather everything you can from everywhere around you and all the sources in the world and those around you, but not feel any pressure that you have to commit to any of the things that are given to you. But you just examine them. The road to heightened intelligence and wisdom is to take knowledge and insight and know what to do with it. Have learnedness and expect that through your life experience, if you use your life to learn and grow, that you'll come to have a stronger sense of what to do in a situation. A guy is having a problem with a girl that's very needy. She encroaches on my space, dictates when she could come here and stay with me. It's more comfortable in my cooler apartment versus her hot apartment 7 miles away. She always excuses why she needs to be here. So many dependencies to me and my place. We have an open relationship. She respects that I can date and sleep with other partners. However, she asks too many questions, too nosy, wants details, pictures, anything she can get out of me. I don't want to feel pressured to share by force. I only share about some experiences, but mostly keep it to myself, as I don't feel respectful to share. But she loves to know. She doesn't get jealous and lets me borrow her car to date if I need a car. She just wants to ask too many questions and I get burned out, and then she complains. I'm mean to her and I get cold. I'm not very into her. I'm hardly attracted to her, to have sex once a month with her, just due to not having other partners consistently. She doesn't understand her personality and attitude. Her voice is the biggest turnoff to me. I feel suffocated and relieved when she's away. She acts very childlike and immature for her age of 36. So basically what we have here, from the words I'm getting from this, the greatest thing that you have is to have someone to talk to, someone to spend some time with, and someone to have sex with periodically that's kind of reliable, more so than other partners are. How would I give advice for something like this? Everything I do has to do with really large concepts. Really, really, really bigger than just the simple things. But because of that, I can also talk about the simple things. But I don't want to focus on the simple things because the simple things are like the trees of the forest. I want to focus on the forest. I want to get you to understand the entire forest. Why is it that this is important? To have someone there someone, to have those kind of relations. Why? You may have any host of reasons, but the truth of the matter is, in all of us, there's a reason why we're attracted to others. Mostly it's the opposite sex because they have different things that we don't have, and we find that amusing or interesting, or we're captivated by it because we have everything we have of the sex that we have right in front of us. No matter what sex you are, it's not as interesting because you've got the fullness of what you are and who you are with you. But the other person is different. There's something more, something different. Most people, I think it's because of the design of nature, that's why most people gravitate towards someone. She wants to heighten the sensation of feeling like she's doing something really good and fun, and wants to be keeping you feeling like she's worth her salt. If you like that, it gives you something special. You're going to keep on calling her. You're going to keep on wanting to be with her. It heightens the fact that you're more committed. So one of the things that I would suggest to you is that what all your words state to me is that you're not feeling like you're getting as much benefit as you'd want to get for the costs. But because of the idea that the gratification periodically that you want from this steady thing is hard to find in another individual, you're willing to pay the cost. So out of that comes so much of your displeasure and dysfunctionality with this other individual. I could just simply say, oh, stop paying the cost. But you have a desire to have that. But here's what I want you to do. I want you to spend more time thinking about what else your life could be like, so that you don't have to feel like this is your only option. How much is having your desire fulfilled really worth in this way? You're not gonna, it doesn't sound to me like, ever developing anything more with this person. Chances are, unless they become very, very much enlightened and benefit from self-growth, they're never going to improve enough to where you'd feel better about them. Unless you go together and take this long journey together and you try to improve one another. Now, my wife and I, we made a commitment to each other. And let me give you an example of my things. We made a commitment to each other to be there for each other and heighten ourselves together and maintain the road together of where we're going and develop one another. We made a very specific set of rules of how we were going to do that. And one of the biggest problems I have with my relationship is if the other person deviates from those rules or those vows that we made that are very significant. I can get into those in further videos if you want to continue to talk. All of our problems come out of, as far as I'm concerned, her not wanting to stick to those rules and my turn up the volume to say, hey, but you said, and the cyclical process goes. So I can pinpoint all of our places, all of our things into one place. But I stick to it because we made vows, we made commitments to one another. You don't have a commitment to one another. What you have is, how much price is this person worth for the game? I can't answer that question, but I would ask you to meditate for a long period of time and consider it from every angle. Whether you're dependent on the things that you think you want and are willing to have so much irritation. Now, I wanted to have a partner in life. I wanted to have fulfillment. I wanted to have a full, rich experience in life. I signed on and I'm paying a huge expense of giving my whole life to this one individual and that person too. And I'm worthy, and they're worthy. To do things right, to take the road less traveled, to do things the way they're meant to be done is work. It takes energy, it takes commitment. It takes maybe not having the gratification that you'd like to have in the ways that you'd like to have it gratified. Maybe going your whole life and not ever having that. But when you don't have a commitment to somebody, you want to find what's the most direct access to gratification that I can have with this person, and what's the least price I can pay for it. This is why so many people break up and there's so many divorces and things like that, because that's the mentality that your standard person has. In this fleshly, physical world, that's Totally understandable. Totally normal. It'd be stupid if you didn't think like that. It's like, I can't prove to you there's anything higher or loftier than this. I can't prove to you that any of the ideas, if we go on and share, that I will share with you, are even valuable enough for you to do, for you to implement. I can't prove those things to you. But I have done it, and I can tell you where I came from. But let's talk about just you. How much value are you getting for the price you're paying? And is there anything you can do to improve yourself or feel better about what your overall thing is to yourself, to where you become less codependent even for this little fraction of your world that she occupies, so that you're the master. You're the master of what your choices are and how you live and who comes into your life and how they're there. And all of her demands won't mean anything because you don't need to reciprocate in a way that you wouldn't want to. And you wouldn't be caught off guard by the fact that you are requiring something that you don't really even understand your full mastery of yourself, of why you have to have it and why the price. So what's happening is because you're not fully aware and mastering yourself and what you have to have, you're paying a heavier price than you probably would need to pay. If you had something there that was stronger than what you say you have there, and that you've indicated is not much more, then I'd say it's worth the commitment and let's build towards that. So right now, before I go on, I have to ask you, is it worth the commitment to build something towards, or is the practicality of this relationship, of just having them there, worth the price? And do we want to keep it that way? And do you want advice on how you can just keep it that way the best you can and understand what's going on so that it stays that way? Because if I were to enable you to that end, what good would I really do? What good would I serve that person? What good would I serve you? What good would I serve our world? So I would like for you to take mastery of yourself and either X this person out or build with them. Tell them the way it is. Break it gently. Or build with them. But use. It sounds like you're being fair enough, but use of the person, even when the terms are accepted, there's a dysfunctionality there that probably isn't going to last the distance. Where's the glue? The glue is from the usefulness of what you are, from the usefulness of what they are. That glue is going to dissolve in time. So it's transitory and ineffectual and limited in its scope and timeline right from the get-go. Realize those things. Yeah, do you really want help finding out how to perpetuate the price you're paying? Or do you want help finding out how to evaluate yourself more and learn whether the price is worth it or not and why? I'd like you to give me an indication of which way to go before I spend much more of your time. I want you to know I'm there and I'm committed for you. If you are willing to spend time with me, if you are willing to have me spend time with you, I will help you in any way I can. But I'm just being frank and honest with you up front. Give me a little more guidance of which direction you want to go. But I'm going to leave you with this. My heart tells me that the way you're going about it, the price you pay will never be worth the gain, even if you develop and facilitate tools to work it better and you learn to use this person more. It'll never be worth the gain. There's something about a person, especially a girl, that's different than you. She's probably not looking for the same things you are, but she thinks if she becomes this or a little bit of this or a little bit of that, you'll maybe give her somehow the things that she's looking for at the same time. There's some kind of a trade-off. Chances are there's not, because if she really could get into your head and your heart and your mind and see what your words are, she'll never be satisfied. So the question is, how long is she going to go along and accept whatever tidbits you throw to her? How great is the relationship and the time with her? Well, you're making it better when you give her the things she asks for. The time at your place rather than this. You know, the heavier commitment of, I'll let you have these freedoms if you'll give me these things. What you're doing is you're enabling her to go along a little bit farther. But by your enablement, you're making your life less So you're really paying a price. Whether you realize it or not, the first thing I would do is focus on what that price is. Focus on what your value is. Focus on whether the dividend is worth it. If there's anything positive about this relationship besides what you've said, indicate that to me before we go any farther, and we'll talk more about that. I hope that just me talking with you right now has shown you that I'm just 100% there for you, and I'll be there, and I'll be frank with you, and I'll do whatever I can. And that's what the initial video really should say. So I hope to talk to you very shortly. This is Paul Roberts of Conscious Counseling 101. Until next time.